Kalu'S mandate. It's a weekly program where we come face to face with realities of the representation of the Deputy Speaker, Right Honorable Benjamin Okezie Kalu, member representing Bende Federal Constituency. As usual, I expect this program to be of 3 segments. We are going to hear from the Chief Press Secretary to the Deputy Speaker, where he's going to bring us up to speed with the activities of the member representing Bende Federal Constituency. And we will then x-ray some of the projects attracted by the Deputy Speaker to E10. And we are equally going to checking on the status of some of those projects and then open the phone line, the part I call the feedback opportunity for you to get involved and to share your thoughts on the numerous issues we may have discussed by the end of the program. That particular segment is actually priceless to the Deputy Speaker. He's keen on hearing from you as well. So that's going to be the order of Ben Kalu'S mandate this morning. My name is Wisdom Thomas. I have with me here in the studio, I'm talking about the National Commissioner, Abia State, in charge of Abia State in the National Population Commission, and is as well the DG Ben Kalu Foundation, Pastor Emma Trump Eke. Good morning to you, sir. It's a pleasure to have you once again on set. How do you do?
How do you do? Good morning, Abians. Good morning, the good people of Bende. Good to be here once again.
Thank you very much for joining us. But before we get to hear from the Chief Press Secretary to bring us up to speed with the latest in terms of the journey and the participation contribution of the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, the Deputy Speaker, Right Honorable Benjamin Kalu, had a chat with the Inter-Parliamentary Union where he discussed his journey at the National Assembly. He lifted the lead on what makes it tick in terms of his own passion and inspiration. He equally took a while to project the people of Bende Federal Constituency, where he discussed their challenges and how he has championed them in order to bring lasting solution. We'll take a listen to that, and in the aftermath, we then get to hear from the Chief Press Secretary, who will join us virtually. To have a listen.
My name is Right Honorable Benjamin Okezie Kalu, and I represent the good people of Nigeria, starting from Bende Federal Constituency of Abia State, and I am the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives in Nigeria. This is actually my second tenure. The first tenure of 4 years elapsed in 2023. Then I was re-elected in 2023, and the National Assembly found me worthy to be the Deputy Speaker. The first time I was the spokesperson of the House of Representatives and the Chairman, Media and Public Affairs. So this second time, they found me worthy to be the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives. It's been a long dream as a child to make an impact. I come from a zone that passed through the Civil War. And for 54 years, the promise that was made by the head of government then, head of state, General Gowon, for reconstruction of the war-torn zone of the southeastern part of Nigeria was never kept. So government after government came and they left, and nobody thought it wise to leverage the Federation accounts to repair the damages caused by the Civil War. I took it upon myself that I was going to get to the Parliament. One of my aims will be to pass a law that will make the federal government commence the rehabilitation of the southeastern region. And this I achieved just last year. As well, being as a lawyer, I have over 105 bills just these 2 years to my name. And the previous tenure I had about 50 bills to my name. And all is to make sure that we are in touch with the realities of our time and with global best practices. So that was what motivated me to go to the Parliament, to serve the people. I represent the people of Bende Federal Constituency. It is the largest undivided local government in Nigeria. My people are farmers. My people are traders. I represent the people who don't have good roads to go to their farm. So post-harvest destruction is much because of lack of good road. So my representation is to showcase those needs to the federal government and begin to attract the attention of the federal government towards resolving them. That is one. I represent the people that are suffering from ecological problem, climate change. My region is the headquarters of erosion, ecological problems and landslide in Nigeria. So I represent them by making sure that I bring their problems through needs analysis to the national government for intervention. So that is the people I represent, the people of Bende Federal Constituency in Abia State under the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The people I represent keeps me awake at night. How to make them better, how to represent them better, how to be their eyes, their ears, and their mouthpiece before the federal government. Because my people have hydra-headed needs. And you can't talk about democracy without, having the people element at the center of your representation. So for me, when you say government of the people, by the people, and for the people, you see people, people, people. The people element must be in your representation for you to be a democratic representation. So in order to satisfy the people, to actually assist, if not resolving all the problem, at least reasonably so. That is what keeps me awake at night. Africa is embracing democracy with greater speed than all of us had expected. The more we advance our democracy, the more we strengthen our legislature, the more we advance our democracy. The more we advance our democracy, the ethos of our democracy, the principles of our democracy will impact positively in the lives of the people that we practice the democratic governance on. The more good governance is enthroned, the more we embrace it, the more rule of law is enthroned, the more we embrace it, the more equity, good conscience, fairness, justice are enthroned. And if we have all these critical elements and fundamentals of democracy there with our people, certainly Africa will be better. So that gives me hope. Democracy gives me hope.
Yeah, that at the moment in the National Assembly, 10th National Assembly, you have only but 4 female senators out of 109. You have four female lawmakers. And in the House of Representatives, I do not have the number at the moment, but I think they're about 17 or thereabout. That is not really encouraging enough. So that program and that bill are seeking, those two events are seeking to really advance the advocacy, to tell Nigerians that we need more women, because the Deputy Speaker believes that when you bring women into a room where you have some discussion, where you have some governmental, discourse, you will hear them make some vital, contributions that will elevate the status of the society. Because we have known women to be they advance the cause of mankind generally. Of course, all of us, the men, we all came, from women, from a woman. So as it is, if you give them that opportunity to contribute a quota, I tell you that the country will be best for it. So that is basically what we did before that particular Saturday. When he reinforced, basically that's what he did. I issued that statement on behalf of the Deputy Speaker. He told me what to do and all of that. So we did, in line with his passion, in line with what he wants to do, in line with his aspirations, to really reach out to Nigerians, to tell Nigerians that we need to support this bill so that our women can be given sense of belonging. Our women can be, we can get them more involved in the governance system. And that is simply what Saturday was all about. So we celebrate the women. We celebrate our girl children. We celebrate them because we know they have a lot to do.
Are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. Thank you very much. That's basically an update from the Deputy Speaker, isn't it? Do you have any other thing to say?
Yeah, I need to tell you as well, because I thought you were going to ask me the video making the rounds.
We've had a listen. Even Abians have listened, and those who are equally following online.
Thank you for playing that. Let them hear. This is still the worthy son of Abia that was, found worthy offshore this country. That was the United States of America during this Interparliamentary Union, meeting, engagement in New York, just a fortnight ago or so, when he visited, the place on that national assignment, international engagement, even so to speak. So the Deputy Speaker appeared The people found him, worthy to speak to, and they called him to say, and remember, I must tell you too, that he was nominated into the steering committee of World Trade Organization, WTC. So they needed to know he is truly, and they called him on their own. They made that interview. It was not solicited for. It was an unsolicited interview. They called him and said, we really need to know who you are. I guess they had to do that before they even made an appointment, because they needed to know the background of the person they are, giving such an appointment, because the appointment is not just for, you have to know who and what he's bringing to the table, and then what, the passion he has for what he's doing. So they called him and interviewed him and asked him, let's get to meet you for the first time, because yes, every other speaker comes to this event, to this August, event, make input, make contributions, and the person leaves. But here, we are giving you more tasks. We are giving you higher, for higher calling. We need to know who you are. So they called him, and the deputy speaker, of course, if you have seen the video, I guess you only play the audio. If you really watch the video, you could see a very enlightened man who really was, mesmerizing even his audience with the sheer mellifluity of his own expression, talking to them and letting them know the passion he has and who he is. And they try to ask him, because you need to sometimes be a lawmaker of 4 terms or 5 terms before you can really speak, before you can be this visible, because you can make these valid and valuable contributions, very inestimable contributions, But then here comes a lawmaker who only debuted just in 2019, I had a first time. And I must tell you this, of course, it's common knowledge, you and I know, that on his first missionary journey, he was made the spokesperson of the house. So he didn't just become the spokesperson of the house just by accident. He has taken his time to really prepare himself and plan for what he has to do for his people. So they asked him, and he explained himself, he introduced himself, and they asked him again some other questions, what keeps him awake at night. And I can tell you, because even last night, even this night, in fact, I didn't sleep until 1 a.m. because he engaged me. There were issues we were discussing. I can tell you, that was even on the phone. Because I couldn't have been with him by 1 a.m. He couldn't have been in my house. I couldn't have been in my boss's house. But then we were talking, trying to, sort things out, even on the phone. So that tells you he's always awake, trying to, align things and make things work for this country, to make things work for this office, for the office occupies, to make things work for Nigerians, and to make things actually better for his constituents and constituency. So that's the kind of man he is before they come. So that tells you that he is not just only going places, he is actually making impact. He is touching lives, he's reaching out. So that is what that video is all about. And they produced the video and now sent to us here, because that video only came in last week. But then he had returned from his national assignment since 2 weeks ago. Though from there he also left. I said that on radio a couple of weeks ago on your program here. He left that place for another national event, that is Pan-African Parliament in South Africa. Then when he concluded that thing, remember you asked me, he now flew into Uyo, where we had a constitutional review committee. So all of this now tell you of a man who is really doing his best, a man who is not sleeping, a man who is very passionate about the work he does, a man who really wants to give his best to his country, a man who really wants to engage Nigerians, a man who really wants to make sure that the women are given their pivotal place and role, their place in governance, so that they can be part of what we are doing. And like I said, he is sponsoring that bill. And the bill is, I can tell you, is getting support. The advocacy is reached out there and is getting support. Yesterday as well, was it yesterday or 2 days ago? I was surprised. I saw Accord Party. I read a statement, issued by Accord Party. The one they're saying that the National Assembly should do well to hasten up and pass that bill, seat reservation bill, sponsored by Honorable Benjamin Kalu'S. And as if that was not even enough, ZLP, Zenith Labour Party, as well, lent their voice and also called the National Assembly, because those things were happening on the heels of this IWD on Saturday. So that tells you there's a whole lot. He is like a gadfly, actually stimulating thought, letting people know what should be done. If you watch out his bills, and this is a man, I can tell you, who at the moment has about 105 bills to his name in this 10th Assembly. 10th Assembly is about clocking only 2 years. But already he has sponsored about 109 bills.
Okay.
That is unprecedented.
One more thing. One more thing.
He had over 50 bills in the last assembly. So all of these tell you what Right Honorable Benjamin Okezie.
One more thing before I let you go, so we can push on with the second half of the program this morning, is about the SCDC. I'm talking about the Southeast Development Commission, where the Deputy Speaker is asking and calling for collaboration among stakeholders from this part of the nation. I mean, reiterate that for the listener and, of course, the teaming followers of the program.
Thank you again. Yeah, it's a very simple thing. The Deputy Speaker at the moment is not in the country. He would have been there. But because it's an event he attaches, importance to, an event that is so dear to his heart, and a gathering of people who have invested with the powers to steer and to manage the affairs of the SEDC, Southeast Development Commission. He had his speech. He gave a speech, and that speech was delivered on his behalf by the Deputy Minority Whip of the House of Representatives. We are talking about Right Honorable George Ozodinobi. Right Honorable George Ozodinobi is from Anambra State. And then going straight to the content of that speech, he simply told them, I didn't put up everything because I did that statement yesterday. I issued that statement. If you go through that statement, you will understand a particular tone, very touching, very moving, very emotional. He galvanized people. Right Honorable Deputy Speaker galvanized people with that speech, a very powerful speech delivered on his behalf. And he was only telling them, we are not going to play politics with this. He charged the people who are the helm of affairs of SEDC. He told them, the management team, we shun politics and then collaborate and focus more on development, because development has eluded the people of the Southeast over the years. You can imagine when we are getting this after 55 years. That is when the promise made to Ndibo, so to speak. Ndibo, let me be very blunt about this. 55 years ago, the federal government is fulfilling, because after the Civil War in 1970, the then federal government led by General Gowon said there will be reconciliation, there will be reconstruction, there will be, rehabilitation of the Southeast. That has not happened. That promise never came into fulfillment until just last year. By the grace of God, the Deputy Speaker sponsored the bill, and the President graciously assented to it. He came up with the bill, galvanized, the support of his contemporaries, of his colleagues, and they saw the need from the Southeast, and not just only the Southeast. Some other lawmakers from across the Federation, from other regions, also saw the need, to support that bill, because they knew that the Southeast needed some healing. The Southeast needed some elevation. It needed some sort of succor. And that succor can only come through that bill, the content of the bill, the act, now an act. And so what happened? He told them, now we have this. This is our instrument of development. We don't need to hear stories. We don't need to do this. All we need you is to make sure that you do exactly what the mandate is talking about. And what is that? Development, development, development. Give us the infrastructure, we are looking for. Talk about schools, talk about hospitals, talk about roads we don't have in the Southeast. These are the things you are going to give us. So if there has been a take-off grant, we'll expect that money will be judiciously, prudently used, for the people.
Okay.
And then you need to collaborate. The state governors are there, of course, they don't work in isolation. And let me also highlight what is very important here. The team took off, I think, on Monday after the defense of their budget in the National Assembly. They visited Enugu State Governor. They went throughout the southeastern states, and they sought audience. They had audience with these governors and with some other stakeholders who also charged them. So I would say grand finale of their visit happened in Enugu, where Prince Athese actually hosted them. And then Right Honorable Deputy Speaker, my boss, gave that speech and told them that, look, we have a work to do. You have more work to do because you have been entrusted. It's a public trust.
Okay.
All eyes on you. The Southeasterners are expecting you to do what you have to do. And I personally, I do not have any reservation in these people because I know that they are people of high timber and caliber with proven integrity. They will deliver. And what the Deputy Speaker simply did yesterday was to reinforce that and tell them that, look, all of you have to sit up to give the Southeast the needed infrastructure. That is all we need. Once our Southeast again gets back on track, I can tell you that everybody will be happy for it. And the agitations and all of those are proud. I tell you, they will come to they will end.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I mean, you could see how he's been loquacious, and he could go on and on if I don't get to stop him at this point. Let me sincerely appreciate you, the Chief Press Secretary.
I'm still here. I can say more.
Let me sincerely appreciate you, the Chief Press Secretary, to the Deputy Speaker, leaving us, Nwabuyogu. Thank you for coming on the program, and of course, telling us everything that the Deputy Speaker has been out and about doing in terms of representation and lawmaking. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, sir.
All right. And I mean, he's been smiling from chin to chin, but listening to the Chief Press Secretary. I'm talking about my guest here in the studio, Pastor Emma Trump Eke. He's the National Commissioner in charge of Abia State in the National Population Commission and the DG Ben Carlo Foundation. Let me come to you now before we embark on quite a short break and make a return. I'll start from the last part of the statement of the Chief Press Secretary, talking about the visit of the leaders of the Southeast Development Commission. It's now an act. They have been commissioned, they've been inaugurated, giving the charge to do those things that we've been clamoring for from this region of the nation. How impressed are you with the way they are going about it, especially in the early stages of this particular mandate, and how confident are you that the core objective of your principle, the Deputy Speaker, will be achieved? That perhaps 2-3 years from now, we'll look back at Southeast and there is this sigh of relief. Oh, how far we have come.
Yeah, it's quite interesting to listen to my younger brother, living in Swapo, so eruditely marshalling out the things our principal has been doing. And coming to what you asked me about the Southeast Development Commission and their just concluded stage tour of the Southeast, I want to say it's a breath of fresh air into the dynamics of development in the Southeast. And they've started well. And it's passion that drives every vision. And they started well because they have the passion to drive the vision, the mandate they have been handed over to. And that is to go all out and do what they ought to do to make the Southeast a better place. And not just by the imprimatur of my principal on what they need to do. From the address that he gave them, it is obvious they're not just going to rely on the budget that's been handed over to them. And a lot of people are showing up. Foreign direct investors, partners, international partners who want to come and do one thing or the other in the Southeast. It's a platform, another platform outside the day-to-day running by our state governments. It's a quantum leap from where we are, what we have, to another level of glory, if you like, that Southeast will be witnessing in a short while. And the men that have been charged with this responsibility are committed to making an impression, making an impact in a very short while. And like you said, 2 years down the line, we will be able to look back and take stock and say, wow, this is it. Because the people who are charged with this responsibility are committed individuals that are willing to run with the vision of a better Southeast. I have no doubt Southeast will be better for it.
One more thing before that break. The APC caucus meeting, which held recently, I mean, for the onlookers, the neutrals, and those who belong to other parties here, both in the state and in the nation, you apparently can see a bit of confusion in some other parties. You look at how they are facing one implosion or the other. But it looks like the APC are waxing stronger. What was that caucus meeting all about, and how does that strengthen the resolve of the party, both at different subnational levels and, of course, at the national?
Yeah, you know, one of the things setbacks the APC had in the past was not having, with all due respect, a politician at the helm of affairs. Now the president is a field marshal in politics, and so you see the synergy between the presidency and the National Working Committee, and it's yielding results. There's a lot of cohesion now. People need to understand that in the game of power, there has to be cohesion to achieve a lot. And why is the APC waxing stronger? You know, we hear less of acrimony in APC now. Now, the president came with some very tough policies that a lot of people started doubting and complaining. But in the past, we've been eating our future. But the president said, no, we have to give a future that our children should be proud of. Now, the removal of subsidy and the liberalization of the naira, floating the naira, as they call it, came with a lot of pains. But 1.5 years down the line, the economy is stabilizing, and I hear foodstuffs are dropping all over. The naira is firming up against the dollar, and all those progression, the debts are being paid and all that, is giving a lot of people confidence. Okay, so there is a direction. Leadership is about direction. So there is a direction, economically speaking, politically speaking. If you see what happened over the weekend in the north, where one of the structures of former vice president, some of the structure all over the north collapsed and declared for the party. You're going to see something like that next month, also in Abia. You know, I don't want to preempt.
That's exclusive.
Yes, I don't want to preempt it, but it's going to come with a bank, and that gives you the direction. A lot of people who are still sitting on the fence will begin to say this is the way to be. And I can assure you, APC is the party to beat anywhere.
All right, at this point, we are going to go on that break. When we return, we will zero in on some of the projects attracted by the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, a member representing Bende Federal Constituency, Right Honorable Benjamin Okezie Kalu. Stay with us. Thank you for leaving your dial on the floor of God's own state. This program, Ben Kalu's Mandate, airs on Vision 104.1 FM as well as on Love 99.9 FM. I still have here in the studio with me the DG, Ben Kalu Foundation, and of course National Commissioner in charge of Abia State in the National Population Commission, Pastor Emma Trump Eke. Okay, let's now zero in on the projects attracted by the Deputy Speaker to ITEM and then find out their status as we speak. We begin from the ongoing construction of ICT Center at Comprehensive Secondary School, Okoku ITEM. Where are we with this? Can we say it's way above 50% now? And what's the pace like, the pace of the work?
Yeah, the pace of the work is progressive, and it's over 50%, and that is the physical construction. You know, after the construction, they will equip the place with ICT equipment so that people can make good use of it for e-learning and other things. It's not just in Okoku ITEM. You know, this is every ward in Bende Federal Constituency has an ICT center. And so that of Okoku is ongoing. It's something is going on ITEM A. Okoku is ITEM B by the INEC delineation. And so you have it ongoing also in ITEM A, that the site is Amoku ITEM. And it's also ongoing in ITEM C, which is in Akano ITEM, which is in ITEM C. So in all the three federal wards in ITEM, each of the ward has an ICT center under construction. That is by way of ICT. And then, you know, we have reconstructed the Umunato Health Center we reconstructed, gave it a facelift, and equipped the health center for the immediate needs of our people who are resident in that place, in that area. So that is what we've done there. Then in Abanta is a community in Amokwitem. We have a 3-room classroom block that has been completed.
Okay.
Another 6 classroom block is ongoing in that same compound, in that school premises, Abanta Primary School. That is ongoing. And as we speak, work is going on. And almost 98% completed. Then in Okokwitem, what we call the LG, there is renovation of 3 classroom blocks that is ongoing. As if you go there now, you will see people that come from Okoko and all these places. As I'm mentioning them, they can call in to either confirm or say we are lying. And it's not in our tradition to tell lies about what we're doing. So in Omunnato, what we call Omunnato, the axe is the belt that comprises of Amekitem, Apuangitem, and Amekwitem. There's a parcel of space that we call Omunnato. That place has another classroom block with headmaster's office that is under reconstruction as we speak. I think they're doing tiling and all that on that in that particular block now. That is the stage of work that is going on. And then we had earlier completed a 6 classroom block in Apanwitem. Is there. Each of these classrooms I'm mentioning, the ones that are completed, we are furnished with desks and chairs for the pupils. And so it's not just building and living. We give them what was not existent before. And by the way, we had earlier also distributed modern desks and chairs to all the schools in Bende Federal Constituency, but I am focusing on Item now. Almost every school in Item got those new set of desks and chairs for pupils. And so we did that. Then we did 4-kilometer roads from the roundabout of Amokwe heading to Akano. That road now, unlike before now, as the rains will be setting in, the people living in Akano will be ordinarily cut off. But today they can travel with ease, whether it's in the night or in the day. They can travel with ease and go to their villages. And that road will be extended, as soon as funds are made available, so that you can hit Item, and then continue until we hit the boundary community of Akese. That is the intentions of my principal. And the paperwork has been done, and we hope by when we get some more money, we'll continue on that road. There is also a road construction that is ongoing. They call it, they call it a comprehensive secondary school road that heads to Ugweke. That construction is ongoing. I'm sure you have the pictorials. If they've not sent you after this program, I'll send you the pictorial of activities going on that road. And everything is being done so that the places, a good survey was done. And so they have the engineering where the roads usually collapse, where you have mud. They are paying serious attention to it so that road will be a masterpiece. We don't do this, you walk this and it washes off. No. Effort is being made that the proper engineering work is done and we deliver a better road to our people. Okay. Part of what we did in terms of water supply, we did a borehole somewhere in Okoko around the Assemblies of God Church, and there was hiccups, and that is being rehabilitated to make sure that water runs 24 hours, 7 days a week. So, and in Amokwitem too, there is this road that went as far as, the depth went as far as 1,000 meters down, so that we can get water, because one of the challenges we have in Item is that you don't get water easily. But the geophysics they went down to 1,000 meters to get water, and that water is supposed to be reticulated 3 kilometers radius, and water is running from there, but the reticulation will take take place before the end of the year, so that 3 kilometers radius people can fetch water from the taps. They will have 80 distribution points as they do all that. So that is happening.
I would allow you to go continue with some of those projects and telling us how far they have come. But let's open the phone lines now, because I'm sure that our listener, more especially those from Item and Bende federal constituency, and Abians in general, not excluding anyone outside Abia State, are itching to be part of the conversation. And it's one part the Deputy Speaker is always open to, enjoying listening to you and having your own thoughts. Now you can be part of the conversation when you call us via these numbers: 0808 1826 949 or 0811 605 2949. You can send us a text message on 090 651 08289. That's equally our WhatsApp number in case you want to send a WhatsApp message. So let's get to hear from you. Once you get through to us, tell us your name and where you are calling us from. In the case that you can't hear us, it doesn't mean that we cannot hear you. Just go ahead and tell us your name and flow. Good morning, and thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Thank you. Name and location, please.
I am Marcus.
Pardon?
I am calling you from. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. What did you say your name is again, please?
Marcus. Carlo, I'm calling you from Alai.
Go ahead.
Yes, I want to commend my representative, Benjamin Carlo, for what he's doing, both at the state and the national level. His representation is a top-notch. But where I want to still want him to correct is the issue of that their next or Kalu'S meeting. You see, in other State, APC is not entered yet. We know of photos of Carlo, until all of them come together. That is when APC will be able to take Abia State. But individually, he's doing well. And he should not also ignore the fact that Ojozo Kalu is also instrumental to whatever thing that he is today. He should collaborate and work with him for peace to reign in APC, more especially in Bende, and that they are not at large. Thank you.
Thank you for your contribution, and I'm sure the Deputy Speaker will hear that. Let's look at the SMS line while I keep my eyes on the phone lines as well. This one is coming from Chika Nnorom from Omokabia, Abia State. You are saying, with Deputy Speaker's antecedents in Green Chamber, Ben Kalu should go higher in terms of position in 2027 election. Staying with the SMS line, let's get this caller involved. Thank you. Name and location, please.
Good day, sir.
Go ahead.
Good day, sir.
Go ahead, please. We can hear you.
Wisdom, good day.
Yeah, good morning.
I'm sorry, Ikele DG never. Nambale na bale yana Deputy Speaker. Mana ebe m na-enweta nsogbu bụ ihe niile ọ kpọsiri ugbu a bụ item ụzọ gakwara nne ka amazi ụmụ ezechi gawa ụmụokwu ha bịara flag off the other time ha na-echetakwa na mmiri na-abịa mmiri nke etiri na ụmụokwu for how long ruo ugbu a ibu na agbawabede ọ naghị esoro na ndị bụ ndị constituent Ben Kalu, because nke ndị nke ọzọ na-emecha ebe ahụ na ha awọkụla mana nke ụmụ especially ụmụokwo nke na-awa ọkụnụ ma ụzọ ihe a bụ the third time ọ ga-abịa ilebara ụzọ si na ọ ga-eleba ụzọ ahụ anya onwe nke o mere. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your contribution. The DG Ben Kalu Foundation is already penciling down those concerns. He will react to them, and I'm convinced, persuaded that he will equally take those messages back to the Deputy Speaker. Good morning, and thank you for joining us.
Hello?
Name and location?
Hello? Hello?
Name and location?
Hello?
Okay, so it's obvious he's not hearing me. Hello?
Good morning, Wisdom.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Honorable Ben Carlo, and your guests in the house.
Go ahead,
my name
please.
is Victor. Yes, my name is Victor Emmanuel Ndoboka. I'm calling from Ameki. Yes, I'm so elated by the contributions that Ben Carlo is making in the development of his constituency and the Southeast in general. They have to take more development efforts in developing the Southeast so that we will join other regions in developing better than what we have today. It's true that the Southeast Development Commission has been established. Let them look at a way to bring a seaport to Onitsha. I want them to look into that direction, and let him equally look at bringing a conventional university to Umuahia, which is the state capital of Abia State. I think Umuahia is the only state capital that don't have a university. We will appreciate that if he goes into these areas and make sure that we support a situation where we will have an Igbo president in Nigeria, because that's another direction. They should leave party politics aside and go for, because that will give us more development, just like the Southwest has produced presidents since 1999. They have produced president twice, vice president. That has given them more development.
Okay.
The South,
Okay.
and the Southeast equally should be given the opportunity. The type of politics they play that we make that happen. We bring more development.
Let me sincerely
to us
appreciate
in
you.
the
I think
South.
you've had the ample time to express yourself, and that you took with both hands. I appreciate your contribution. Let's hear from Pastor Emma Trompeke. Let's hear from him in reaction to the comments we've had so far, the responses we've gotten, and then we'll take a few more and call time on the program. I'm looking at time, and we're actually really behind time. Let's get to hear from you, sir. Sure.
Okay, I want to thank our brother that called from Alai, Mascot Carlo. Thank you for your compliments. You showered on our principal, the deputy speaker, our representative. And I want to say that APC in Abia State will spring a surprise in the next few weeks. And that will give us the direction. Everything is being done to make sure there is peace, cohesion, and cooperation amongst the key players in the state. And that will be achieved to the surprise of many. Our brother from Umuhu, we are discussing ITEM today. That is why you're hearing about ITEM. And maybe next week or in the future we'll discuss Umuhu. But suffice it to say that the rules you've mentioned were started by us. We are not pressurized to do it, but we felt it is what our people need. You know, a lot of things come into play when you are pursuing a project for your people. In December, when we graded that road, in fact, there are about 4 routes that are supposed to happen at the same time in Umuhu. When we graded the Umuokwe axis, we had issues with getting equipment to do that job. And then later on, the equipment we had, we were doing roads in Uzuakole, we were doing in Ugueke, we were doing in Lodu, and we're also doing in Item. You know, all these demand a lot of resources. It's not that any part of Bende federal constituency is neglected, but I can assure you that the same intention, the same passion that made us come to grade Umuhu in the first place, we will use it to actualize it, and I'm sure we'll have that road completed before the end of the year. If the rest meets us, no problem. It's our project. We started it. We will complete it. On the water, we've asked the contractor to go back to site. The same issue we had in Umuhu. You know, it's a lot of challenge getting water in some communities in Bende federal constituency. the same challenge we had in Umuhu in terms of the water is the same thing we had in Ozuitem. But we went back to Ozuitem and rectified it. We're coming back to Umuhu. We will make the people of Umuhu happy. So that's that on that. And our brother that called from Umuahia talked about seaport. There's no way we can have a seaport in Southeast because we don't have a sea. But we can, dredge the River Niger to make it, you have a river port where barges can be emptied, can bring containers from Port Harcourt or Lagos and bring it to, and that is already happening. But any other thing that can be done by the Southeast Development Commission to develop others, river ports around the Southeast will be done. Thank you so much. Conventional University you mentioned, Michael Okpara there's a bill that has gone beyond second reading to make Michael Okpara University a conventional university, so that Umuahia will also be among the state capitals that have a conventional university. Thank you very much.
All right, let's see if we can squeeze in a couple of calls. I'm looking at the
I
time.
want to talk about our rural dwellers grant.
Okay, so that has to be the last shot.
Yes, even though we didn't exhaust what we're doing in Item.
Okay.
Yes, just like every other ward or every other community, every other clan in Bende Federal Constituency. We started Ben Carlo Rural Dwellers Grant sometime in September when we did 136 people that we gave 20,000 naira. Subsequently, it was upgraded to 1,436 people, in the month of October. Then we're doing November. We're gathering. What you will see shortly next month. No, you're not going to stop with wisdom.
We're out of time.
You took some of my time. I didn't start on time, wisdom. You're going to give me bonus.
The news is up next. I apologize. Maybe we should equally reconvene for this town hall meeting, different from this one. But let me sincerely appreciate you, Pastor Emma Trump, aka the National Commissioner in charge of Abia State in the National Population Commission and the DG Ben Carlo Foundation. That's the reason he wants to take more of my time. Thank you for coming on the program. Let me sincerely appreciate the Chief Press Secretary himself, Livinus Waboyog, who equally played a part from the get-go. I appreciate my producer, Samson Eze, and acknowledge that this program was live on Vision 104.1 FM as well as Love 99.9 FM. I am Wisdom Thomas, and this is how far we can go on Ben Carlo's mandate. We'll make a return, same time, same station, come next week. But the news at noon is up next, and Jennifer and Co. are right here in the studio.